The New York Knicks evened up their second-round series with the Miami Heat after a 111-105 victory at Madison Square Garden on Tuesday night. I was in the building last night, and so was New York Post sports reporter Zach Braziller, who joins me to break it all down as the series now shifts to Miami. Zach, are you excited to get in some Miami sunshine on this trip?
Absolutely. All the rain we've gotten, let's go. Let's head to the sun for a few days. It's been a really interesting series. Obviously, the Knicks haven't played great. Didn't have Randle game one. Heat didn't have Butler game two. It's really hard to make a lot so far of this series. I think kind of really go either way, and I think we're looking at 6 or 7 games.
Yeah, we'll see how this all plays out. But when we look at how game two played out, it was a great first half, or 3 quarters. It wasn't, I should say, for the Knicks playing against a Heat team without Jimmy Butler. What impressed you the most with how the Knicks were able to close this game out and find a way to win?
I was really impressed the most by Brunson. You know, he clearly wasn't right in that first half. The right ankle, to me, was obviously bothering him. He didn't have the same lift on the shot, didn't have the same explosion, but the guy found a way. He's just such a mentally tough player. 23 of his 30 in the second half. When the game looked like it would go sideways, he kept on making big shots. Knicks made huge ones in the fourth quarter. His 3 gave them the lead late. I mean, it can't be overstated what a huge signing he was. He's this team's leader. There's no question about it. He really, it's still mind-boggling to me that Dallas messed that up. To me, like, you could point to Randle playing well, Barrett playing well, Josh Hart, Hartenstein. This game was all about Brunson fighting through the discomfort in his ankle and just finding a way to lead his team.
Yeah, absolutely did that. As you said, 23 of his 30 points in the second half. I want to talk about Josh Hart, who you mentioned, because he hit the biggest shot of the game with a $138 to go to put the Knicks up 4, and he nearly had a triple-double in this game. Is Hart at his best for the Knickerbockers with the game on the line?
Look, he's hit the 2 biggest shots of the postseason. I don't think there's any question about it. That 3-pointer in game 1 against the Cavs really kind of set the tone for that series. And then last night, that 3 was huge, you know. The Knicks lead was down to 1. He hits a 3 to push to 4. Really kind of, to me, like, put the motion in that game. It has been such a great trade bringing him in here. He kind of typifies this team. You know, he's a grinder. He plays both ways. He's a perfect rebounder. He's not afraid of the moment. Really big shots there. I mean, he was so valuable in that fourth quarter. 10 of his 14 in the fourth quarter. Some huge offensive rebounds. I mean, the Knicks aren't at if they don't make that trade for Josh Hart.
Yeah, Josh Hart has been tremendous for the Knickerbockers. Got to talk about the Knicks bench here. Only 12 points off the bench for the Knicks in game 2. Are you concerned about the scoring output from the Knicks reserves when you look at the first 2 games of the series?
Yeah, look, Emmanuel Quickley's not right. There's no doubt about it. Obi Toppin really struggled yesterday at both ends of the floor. Hartenstein was by far their best reserve. Grimes did play well in that fourth quarter, especially defensively. His offensive confidence isn't there, but he is defending at a high level. I'm a little surprised that Tibbs hasn't gone back to Grimes starting and Hart off the bench. I just think Hart fits better with that second unit. Look, he's going to close games. We know that. And I understand Tibbs is focused on Jimmy Butler and thinks Hart needs to be on him. But I just think for balance sake, it makes more sense to go back to Grimes starting for both units. We'll see if he does that. There's been no indication he will. Me personally, I just think it kind of helps their balance better to bring Hart off the bench.
All right, we'll see if there are any adjustments in terms of that for Game 3 as the series moves forward. Now, as we said, series shifting to Miami for Game 3. We saw the Knicks make some second-half adjustments against the zone in Game 2. Jimmy Butler could be back for Game 3, Zach. So what does New York need to do in order to take care of business in South Beach and regain home court advantage coming back to New York?
The Knicks got to guard the three-point line better. The Heat have really hurt them in both, games 1 and game 2 from 3. Game 2, obviously, they were really looking just to set up the 3. I was surprised the Knicks didn't adjust better to that. They were doubling too much on drives, doubling too much in the paint, when all the Heat were really looking to do was to set up the 3. The Knicks have to defend the three-point line better. There's no doubt about that. I wasn't all surprised the Knicks shot the 3 much better in game 2. They hadn't shot the 3 well at all in the playoffs. This was a decent three-point shooting team all year, so I'm not surprised it went in the other direction. And then you look at the Heat. The Heat were not a good three-point shooting team all year. Now in the playoffs, they've been absolutely lights out. I think you're going to see some regression to the mean there with their three-point shooting. But look, The Knicks have to play better defensively. There's no question about it. They've be better, be tighter with the ball. Their play is going to have to improve to get a game in Miami. They have not played well in this series, but this is a team that's been very good on the road all year. They did win once in Miami during the regular season. I expect them to play better. I think the 3 days off will really help Randall and Brunson with their ankles. I expect Butler to play. It's going to be a fascinating 2 games in Miami, no question about it.